You asked me what is transpersonal psychology, and of course I can only answer in terms of what it means to me. And that is that it is the psychology that does not hold that the parts of ourself that we are consciously aware of is the whole of our being. Now, of course, other psychologies like Freudianism and even Jung, who is a kind of intermediate figure here in ways genuinely transpersonal, but I think that the transpersonal movement has gone beyond him in certain ways. Those, even Freud, let's just keep it with that, will say, sure, there is a subconscious, but this subconscious, the unconscious, is, as it were, less than the ego, the rational part of our mind. And transpersonal psychology says that there is a part of us that is greater, nobler, better than we consciously realize, which is nevertheless a part of our nature and makeup, and it is the psychology that takes that seriously and tries to develop therapeutic and just in terms of human development, develop methods to try to realize this greater self that is latent within each of us. As for what it can mean to the individual, it is the liberating, saving assurance that there is more to our nature than we have yet realized. And I would add to that this more is not simply in the way of aspiration in terms of what we can become, though that is included, but it is grounded in the assurance that this greater self is already, in a sense, present within us like a jack-in-the-box, exerting itself for release. As for what transpersonal psychology can mean for our time, I very recently, last week, came upon an assertion that the standard mainline view of the human self in the West today is pitiable. Now, that's a strong word, but in terms of what we actually are, I think it is not an erroneous term. And so I would see transpersonal psychology as an important movement to try to bring to the attention of our time that there is more to us than our culture recognizes. Saul Bellow has remarked that we do not think well of ourselves today. We do not think amply as to who we are. In the past, as a rabbinic saying brought out, the view was that, as the rabbis would say in the Kabbalah, in that tradition, every time a human being walks down the street, he or she is preceded by a choir of angels shouting, "Make way, make way, make way for the image of God." You see, that's the way the wisdom traditions have seen us, as having the Atman, or the Buddha nature, or the wisdom of God, the image of God in our very nature. But we've lost sight of that. And this more exalted, and I would say emphatically more accurate view of the nobility of the human self is what transpersonal psychology is trying to recall to the attention of our society.